It's time for Type 40 Live, the live stream Doctor Who magazine show here across your view screen. You, on Rumble, X, YouTube, and Facebook, where we keep track of all 5 dimensions as best we can, monitoring for all things Doctor Who, from right the way back then to the literally right here and the right now, all in front of a live chat full of fellow friends, fans, and companions just like you. And the march to Christmas 2025 begins. We begin the charge here with some big merch picks. 2 years on from the giggle, 14 and 15 are reunited. Then, of course, where will this land? The war between the land and the sea, that is. Plus, is this the next Doctor? Yes, here we are, bang up to date in the current console room. It may be somewhat sparse, and we still don't know what most of this junk does, but maybe between us we'll be able to work it out as we head up to another weekend. What a week it's been. Doctor Who Anniversary Week 2. Had a great time the other day on our Doctor Who Day show. Hope you enjoyed that as well. So we'll be comparing and contrasting experiences as always. Okay, we've got people joining us there on Rumble, X, YouTube, and Facebook. We'll find out who you are in a moment or two. But me, I'm Dan Hadley, Birmingham's King of the Geeks. Almost forgot that bit, but I haven't forgot. I've got to bring the rest of them on now too as well. Thank you, everybody. I can't wait to get started. Keep nice and warm, keep fed and watered, and we've got nourishment for the geeky soul, I think, coming up. Some rants and some raves, I don't doubt. As for which will be which, I think that's for us to know and you to find out, isn't it, Charlotte?
I think people can have educated guesses for which one's which. We shall see. Hello, everybody.
We'll see how we go. How are you bearing up now? The cold weather has really started to bite. Doing okay?
Yeah, I've got my layers. I've got my big gloves. I've got all my winter gear.
Big
which
gloves.
is a prerequisite. Oh yeah, people know. If you're from the north, you know what I mean by you've got your proper gloves, your big gloves. It's a bit like you get your big coat. It's that sort of idea.
See, I imagine somebody walking around with great big foam hands like they get at baseball games and things like that, with pointy fingers like Kenny
bad.
Everett used to have. Everybody who's old enough to remember Kenny Everett used to do all that. No, not quite like that. No.
Not quite like that, but you, like I said, if you're a northerner, you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, it's very parky around here as well, around these parts, even parkier in the TARDIS. Nice close-up view here of the console this time. The jukebox is on. Don't know which tune is playing. They never really gave that much of a bashing after all, did they? There's never any evidence that it was working, but it's a nice touch. I'll give them that. Okay, we've got plenty of room to fill up. That's the good thing about this console room. We could bring on 40 people if we wished, couldn't we? But no. Well, we don't need 40 people. We just need these guys. We've got extra mouths in Mr. David Milling and the birthday boy Matt Pott as well. Oh, both you okay?
Hello. Happy birthday, Matt.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Was I not supposed to mention that?
No, you were. It's fine. It's fine.
Happy birthday. Hello to everyone in the chat. A happy Thanksgiving also to our American things, and it's always lovely to see the Madonna TARDIS as well, the Madonna console from her.
You talking about the frontage?
Yes, exactly. Yes, the Madonna. That's what I've I've nicknamed it, the Madonna console. Yeah.
Never really saw a lot of it, did we?
How old are you, Matt?
I wasn't going to ask him that one. That was just about to leave my lips. I won't ask how old you are. I just hope you've got a nice day planned.
I'm as old as a golden girl. Let's just say that.
Oh, right, okay, lovely.
David, you've got to keep some sense of mystery.
Oh, sorry.
That's what we've got to keep as live streamers.
92. Okay, thank you.
Mystique, yes, the mystique about it. Yes, so you've got a fun day planned, Matt, for your birthday. You and Charlie out and about, going to cause some trouble?
Yeah, I'm going to spend time with my mum, so it's going to be good.
Good.
Yeah. Very, very good. And as David's quite rightly said, I'm never really sure precisely what this is, but I'm sure the Americans who watch and listen along will forgive me. But when I say Happy Thanksgiving anyway, of course, it really is the Doctor giving an address in the Oval Office, which is the nearest I think we've ever got on screen to presidential status for the Doctor. But yes, I had to go and I look it up. I think I look it up most years what Thanksgiving actually is. Because it's very unique to the Americas, isn't it? And I wonder, is it religious? Well, it is sort of, apparently, kind of linked to cultural traditions and the sort of religious origins, I suppose, in Britain of the original settlers. So I'm a little more wiser, but I bet I'll end up looking it up again next year, David, and it'll all have just completely left me. But happy Thanksgiving, anyway, everybody.
I have no idea what it is.
Do you think we should start doing it over here, David? Do you think we should start doing Thanksgiving here?
Well, I'm sure we could, but I'm sure there'd be some really lovely, happy politician in government who would tell us how much it would cost the economy, and they'll probably end up taxing the hell out of us for it. So if we did, I think it's a little bit too much to ask just under a month before Christmas, because you know we've got the Black Friday deals, of course, which obviously comes from Thanksgiving, but that seems to last about 6 weeks now.
Yeah, that just goes on.
It just goes on, and actually, it's cheaper beforehand. But anyway,
I mean, you got to take the rough with the smooth there. The first couple of years they did that in Britain, Black Friday. You got people's aunties were getting nutted out in Tesco's and things like that. It's a bit much. Things have calmed down quite a lot.
Ours is so bad they started a week early, so Black Friday goes for an entire week.
Yeah.
See,
and then they may have something special at the end.
The Americans, they sent us Black Friday, Matt, but they haven't sent us Thanksgiving. It is very similar to something that we used to have when I was at school, which was the Harvest Festival, linked to the harvest and to farming and the change of the seasons and bringing your crops in. And we used to do that every year when I was at school, and you'd sing very particular songs. And there was like a Harvest Festival play, an evening where the parents would come in and we'd sing songs, Charlotte, and there would be tables set out and people would home make jam and there would be wheat and bread everywhere. They do not do that at primary schools now, do they?
Well, they do a harvest, so they do collections, but it's not all the bells and whistles you just described. It's literally just an assembly talking about harvest and people bringing tins. Like that's the gist of it.
My kids had I think were the last generation, and they're only 19 and 16 to have the harvest plays, and that they still had them, because I remember I had to go see some god awful productions, and we plough the field and scatter and all those sort of songs. But
I'd have loved that. My kids didn't do any of that. I assumed it had all gone. Looks like I just got unlucky there. We'll find out what people have got to say about all of that in the live chat and get corrected too about Thanksgiving. So that really is the best that we can muster up. Genuinely, everybody, happy Thanksgiving, those of you who celebrate it. We were all celebrating the other day as best we could for Doctor Who Day. We were here on the show with a showcase edition, I'd like to think that was, where we made very much our own fun because the BBC had pretty much let us down, I think. As it turned out, I had a pretty good evening, hanging out with you, Charlotte, and then I watched some Doctor Who afterwards. How did yours go in the end? Did you watch any Doctor Who?
I watched a bit of Matt, like is my usual tradition, but yeah, afterwards I'm with Gary that but a few of us said after that stream to each other, actually a lot of the fun is in finding your own sort of way to celebrate these things. And it actually showed there's a hell of a lot of fan stuff happening right now. There's a lot of creativity out there. There's a lot of stuff to watch, to sort of get involved with. And that's just brilliant. So I think when we can concentrate on the positive, when there's a lot of negative with Doctor Who right now, rightfully so because of the current showrunner and the production team. But you need to sort of look beyond that. I think that's what that stream was good for. It showed there's more to Doctor Who than just literally the TV show.
The fandom were in overdrive this year, Matt. I don't know if you're a creative as well. You probably caught some of the projects that were out there in the fandom, particularly this long form animation. Did you see this?
I saw the thumbnail. That's as most as I've gone. Yes. But I haven't actually watched it.
Yeah, well, the beautiful thing is they're not just up for Doctor Who Day. Doctor Who Day specials are not just for Doctor Who Day. They're up all year round. So that was pretty fantastic and very much true to the spirit of Doctor Who. We got Dalek action too from Ant Lamb with episode 1 of his Dalek series, Obsolete. That was brilliant. I knew that was going to be a highlight. I could just feel it in my water. We had lots of great comments about that, people who hadn't heard of it. So we're very happy to connect people with that. And then, of course, there's the trailer, the latest trailer to The Timeless Doctors, finally, as well. The feature-length sort of fan film edit AI combo thing that's coming up, which that's pretty much took my breath away. I couldn't stop thinking about that for a good day or so afterwards, although all those visuals. Have you caught that one, David?
Yeah, caught both of them. I love Babel Color. I really do. I remember back in for the 50th, he did one all cut together all old material and put some new in as well, didn't he?
Yes.
For that, the about the 87 Doctors or whatever it was. But yes, I did see that, and I did see Obsolete, and it's the only time I felt really sorry for a Dalek. It almost had me very dewy-eyed, if you say very moist-eyed. But I watched the Dalek Invasion of Earth, Peter Cushing's one, whilst trying not to ruin a roast dinner for my beloved. So I have to report that the broccoli was not mushy either, so it was a success.
As long as it didn't get roasted in the same way that guy gets roasted when he sort of falls down that building and the Dalek sort of gasses him like that, because that didn't turn out very well for him, did it?
No,
he did that
it
to
didn't.
The turkey.
And I think he actually no, I didn't do that to the chicken. It was a chicken, actually. It was a chicken. So, I think he actually that actor actually got seriously injured from it as well, if I recall correctly. So
yeah, because
no,
when they do the cutback shot, you can see his ankle sort of sticking out. And I think it's sort of bandaged up or something. Now we can see all these things in high def. We can spot when people are sort of bandaged up and when things have been fastened back together. When sets have fallen apart in between takes, Matt. I know you buy a lot of HD stuff, don't you? And like when you look at the sets on The Prisoner in particular, and you spot the gaffer tape holding the doors together. And
my favourite is when people are wearing wigs and the wigs are literally coming off. They just don't have the seams because they're not made for high def. So you can see that they were just wearing a really bad wig.
Because they would glue them on, wouldn't they? And the beards.
Yeah, the beards are funny as.
Did you watch any Doctor Who for Doctor Who Day, Matt, or for the day after? Because obviously
yes, I
you've
did.
Been slightly with the time zones.
I did. I watched the Sunmakers. So yeah.
Curious choice.
Well, not really. I just felt like something I wouldn't normally watch, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's made Doctor Who much more richer, the fact that it's been so much down the gurgler, and to watch something that some people don't really like has just really just oozed more enjoyability, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just watched all. I was going to go, I'm just going to watch one episode, and I ended up watching all of them. So yeah, it was a good time.
Moments like that are particularly good when you haven't seen a story for a while and you think it's not quite as I remember it, or you see something new in it. That happens to me pretty much with all classic Doctor Who in particular, but sometimes with new Doctor Who. This year I rather predictably went for An Unearthly Child after all, so I just watched the opening episode, but this time I watched it with the commentary track on. So it was Gary Russell moderating a panel made up of William Russell, Carol Ann Ford, and Verity Lambert, and it was I wouldn't say it went into minute detail about the episode, because they talk about their castings and general topics like that too. But it was really nourishing to hear those voices again, particularly Verity Lambert, because I hadn't heard her talk for a while, Charlotte. So it felt very intimate. I'd forgotten, because I don't watch or listen to commentary tracks very often now on movies. I tend to skip them even when I've got sort of multi-disc box sets. I'd forgotten how much fun they could be, and it just felt really sweet. And Gary did a brilliant job of moderating it. So it was really lovely. Just right.
Yeah, I think you're right. When it's voices that aren't as so well sort of doing projects with Doctor Who as much, like we usually have the same classic actors, whether they're companions and doctors now, always do extras or DVD stuff or commentaries that you sort of can predict almost what they're going to say and how they're going to react.
Yeah.
Whereas some of these people, like the first TARDIS team, or some of the other more classic, when I mean earlier companions, they're not as available for these things. So when you do catch a bit of it, it feels like more of a treasure almost that you're listening to these voices.
Yeah, it really made my evening. I just wanted to, because I've been talking about Doctor Who for about 3 hours earlier that day, so I was somewhat hooed up or hooed out or both. So I hit my shelves, had a mess, and saw the glimmering light of that DVD. I thought, well, why not? I'd been meaning to watch that version for a little while. I think I watched the pilot version last year, and we did a commentary track, myself, Sarah, and Simon, for the podcast a couple of years ago. So I think I have watched it every year for the last 3 years or so. But yeah, obviously kit up all those fabulous fan productions that we try to bring a little more attention to on the Doctor Who Day show there. It's all still there for you to enjoy. Thunder was somewhat stolen to some degree by this picture, which was absolutely everywhere over that time, Matt. I think it's pretty much universally accepted now that this image of Billy Piper and Paul McGann is AI. I personally was never in any doubt, but had you seen this?
Yeah, that is so blatant. This is one of those things where you just go, huh? And it just, yeah, and then it's like, well, that's not quite right anyway, what she's wearing either. So, yeah, it's just, yeah, it just looks really fake.
Yeah, it's when you look into all the little details as well, Matt, you notice other things.
Yeah.
There are certain dead giveaways, aren't there? I don't know what it is. Things just suddenly. But this is all part
That's
of the fun,
more believable. That's more believable, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if old Russell puts that in there as well.
I suspect this will be the stuff of legend in a few years' time, David. I think people will look back on this Doctor Who Day this year and remember, oh, that was the year of the AI picture.
That definitely was the year of the AI picture. And when it appeared on the Type 40 Facebook page, I called it immediately fake. And then somebody commented, I don't know who they are, said, well, how do you know? Well, because, and then I listed a few things, and they then went quiet. And it to me it was just,
it fooled a lot of people. It got a lot of people's hopes up, David. And I think that is a pity.
I know, and that's the thing about it. And there are some rather cruel individuals out there that will put stuff out there. And I stand by the term cruel, because it just gets people's hopes up in a rather sort of nasty way, really, because yes, of course we would love to see Paul back, but hopefully with a good script. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen, and I don't feel that it will happen. That if we got him back, it would be with a good script. And it's such a disappointment, and it sort of put a. I don't want to be over dramatic, but it sort of did put a sort of stain on the whole thing for me, because it's sort of taking your expectations and then sort of it gives you, it's that false hope that kills you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I think as well, if we would have had at least one proper announcement of something,
Yeah, that too.
I think that would have diverted the attention away from that photo. But because that was literally the only sort of thing that looked like it could have been some news, or it looked like it could have been something about what's happening currently with the show. It sort of became centre stage when I think in previous years, when we've had DVD announcements or animation announcements or just other news stories that can sort of share the limelight, whereas this year, from the BBC's end, it was pretty silent. There was nothing.
Apart from that horrible video thing of the cast of... Yeah, sorry.
We've got lots of comments here in the live chat. Thank you, everybody who's joined in. Stephen O'Neill watched the whole of An Unearthly Child on Doctor Who Day. Good stuff. Good going. Like Matt, getting in a whole story. I think I probably would have done that had I not been live on YouTube. But there's only so much Doctor Who that anybody can take. But I thought I'll pick something that's fitting. That's just right. That's just right.
Yeah. Well, I just
Stephen Braddock watched Day of the Doctor. He watched Day of the Doctor that way. He said he got to see Matt Smith and Tom Baker, and still an excellent anniversary story. So again, it's about picking something that sums up, that sort of mainlines your own individual connection, I suppose, with Doctor Who. I think that's the trick to it. But no, I mean, I can see why some people would have taken this the way that you said, David, and because everybody's different, aren't they? So I would hate to think that it had blighted anybody's day and got so many hopes up. Was that the intention behind it? Sadly, it probably was. People do these things for a lark, don't they? To be mischievous rather than cruel. But the byproduct can be a lot of disappointed people. And sadly, in 2025, there's a lot to be disappointed about. As a Doctor Who fan, who knows what 2026 will bring? More of that coming up, I suppose. But thank you, everybody, for joining us so far. We have been cherry picking from the news cycle the things that have piqued our interest. We'll see if that's worked for you as well.
Watch Time 40, or I will be paying you a little visit.
Okay, so we're nearly 2 years on from when these two doctors faced the toy maker together on screen on the sort of helicopter pad, wasn't it? Aloft Unit HQ in the Giggle. That was supposed to herald an entire fresh new era for Doctor Who. God. In just 18 months, it all went down the you-know-what, didn't it? But Ncuti Gatwa and David Tennant were reunited this week, quite unexpectedly too. Wasn't necessarily Doctor Who related, but when there are people with cameras all around, it quickly goes that way, doesn't it? So they were guests. They were there for the inaugural? Is that how you pronounce it? Inaugural British Audio Awards, The Speakies. The British Audio Awards, brand new this year. So a set of prizes dedicated specifically to audiobooks and audio drama this time, rather than radio drama. And the two doctors were there representing completely separate projects. One of the judges was Doctor Who's own Pearl Mackie, and it was held at the Royal Opera House, hosted by the actor and comedian Sally Phillips. So this was quite a big deal. If they want to try and do this every year, I don't know, maybe it could take off. There were photographers on hand to capture the moment where David Tennant and Ncuti Gatwa got time to catch up, and here they are together. It seems like flares are back in, Charlotte. Those are some real bell bottoms that David Tennant's wearing there. When he comes back as the 19th Doctor, could that be what we see him in, I suppose?
I don't know. David's fashion sense, I don't understand it at the best of times currently. Like, it's either that or he's covered himself in rhinestones like he's about to do Strictly. So it seems to be the most outrageous he can wear. He does do it, David, at the moment.
This was snapped from the other direction too, and then we could see Nick Briggs there wearing a rather daring hat there, Nick, as he takes the picture that we were looking at there. That's pretty cool. And there were lots of more people snapping this event as well. The Doctors laughing together. They seem pleased to see one another, Matt. But then again, there's a lot of cameras on them, wasn't there? So some of this is probably shtick, would you say?
Yeah, it just looks so false to me. It does. I don't know. They obviously know they're being watched, and it's just, it's quite cringe.
It's a bit of a novelty for Shooty Gatwa not to be the stupidest dressed person in the room, though.
Well, he's got no socks on.
That's true.
That's normal now.
No, he hasn't.
Blokes.
I'll always wear socks. Thanks.
Has anybody else noticed how? Has anybody else noticed now that Shooty Gatwa's not playing Doctor Who? He's not dressing like a tit all the time.
Maybe
It's
he's
quite
not
remarkable.
as much of a diva anymore, you know?
There's David Tennant's
Some of the
got a
strands
sort
of-
of like David Tennant sort of got a suit on from a 1970s game show. Nick Briggs is sort of come as I don't know what, and I thought that lady was actually wearing a toga and not a dress in the background, and I just thought, my word, what an award show! Do you have to dress sort of with? And I think, Charlotte, it's the thing that all Davids possess. We do not possess any fashion sense, I have to say. It's the thing that goes with the name. If you're a David, you have to dress terribly. That's my excuse anyway, and I'm sticking to it. It's I take your point, Dan, about him not dressing like a tit anymore, apart from the fact that he forgot to go to Marks and Spencer's to get a nice pair of socks.
I noticed as well that he's not dyeing his hair bright yellow, bright green, all that kind of thing anymore, and shaving off his moustache. It's as if he wants to be recognised as Doctor Who. He's always got a moustache now, and he's always got his hair its natural colour. It's very strange, isn't it, for a guy who didn't want to play the part anymore?
Well,
David Tennant seems to be trying to be Jonathan Ross, according to David Mullen in the live chat there. We've got a double yuck from Richard Brooks too. People aren't too impressed by this. Daniel Cox says David's suit. No, thanks. Now you've said that, David, I think it does look like it's been made out of an old sofa from 1975. I think there's definitely
like
something about that.
It looks like a packet of Lambert and Butler. Do you know that sort of colour that you take out of a packet of Lambert and Butler fags?
It looks like a picnic blanket, is what it does.
Yeah,
that's right. 1970s curtains from your bedroom. That's it.
Yeah, but the more, like you said, I see Shooty now on these events where he's got a more tailored look. He's got a more sharper look. He's got a. I think he looks good in suits. I've always thought this about
Yeah,
Shooty,
he
to be
does.
honest. And like the more I think, God, Russell, why didn't you have his one costume or his main costume actually have some tailoring about it? Actually have that sort of sharpness, or not like just the most ridiculous clothes he had him wearing multiple weeks.
That would that would have been a great costume.
he looks like a normal guy. He looks very naturalistic as well, not like a performing seal. And David Tennant, I think he looks like he's had a couple. He seems to be leaning on
It
Gatwa
looks really rough.
for support. Shooty Gatwa actually won Best Performance for the BBC drama Gatsby in Harlem. I've not heard that. I probably never will. David Tennant was also a winner too. His production that he was part of, so it was called Him, that David Tennant narrated, that won Best Audio Book in the crime and thriller category. But yeah, Shooty Gatwa, Best Performance for Gatsby in Harlem. If you've heard it, let us know. Obviously, this being for audio drama and audio books, Big Finish were there represented. There's Nick Briggs. It's like a character from sort of Trumpton or something. So yeah, I recognise Rob Valentine, Jason Hay Gallery. There's Timothy West, the guy from The In-Betweeners who plays the Master, whose name I've forgotten, and that girl I was talking to at the convention last year. I can't remember her name either, but yeah. So these are all the Big Finish bods. They were there. I don't think they came away with any gongs, but my God, did they make an impression dressed like that? Good for them. It does look like a good time was had by all. So yeah, an award for audio drama and audio books. Big Finish must make more than most publishers, I would say, David. So they must have a sort of crack at these. If this is going to become a regular annual event, Big Finish could end up cleaning up if they sharpen up their act.
Yeah, and that's a disappointing thing, considering the amount of stuff that they put out, which is phenomenal. You would expect them to pick up at least something, whether even if it's best post-production, best special sound effects, best music, incidental music, something you would expect them to pick up. And the fact that they haven't is actually quite concerning, I would suggest, because they put out loads.
They must be one of the biggest publishers of audiobooks and drama in Britain, certainly. And
that's a concern. And I'm a big fan of audiobooks, and like you, they're two books that I'll probably never hear. I expect next year the Harry Potter full cast audios to do very, very well in these awards if they run next year. Very, very well indeed.
I wonder where Shooty will put this award. Matt, I know where you're probably likely to shove it.
I was going to say it's quite ribbed, isn't it?
It looks quite cheap and nasty, but then again, it is the first time they've held these awards. So it was obviously sponsored by the London Book Fair and Penguin Audio and very United Voices. That this could really go somewhere. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this because obviously, a lot of our Doctor Who legends, a classic series and new series, have great voices, do a lot of voice work. So who knows? Who knows how many doctors could be taking home awards as the awards continue?
It's the weirdest thing because I could not understand a bloody word he was saying during the entire run of Doctor Who. I had to have the subtitles on, so God knows what his audio dramas are like or whatever he's doing. Is it like an autobiography talk? Is that what he's doing, or was he doing like an actual show?
It sounded like a proper show off the title.
He won best for performance, so it was of a play, I believe, or something of that kind that was put into audiobook form.
Right. Yeah, I'm more of an autobiography person. I'd rather have the person actually read the book to me.
It was an eclectic panel that chose the awards. The winners weren't picked by the public. They were picked by a select bunch of people, as I say, including Pearl Mackie, former Doctor Who companion Pearl Mackie. Done a lot of stage work. Not that much radio that I'm aware of, but who knows? Yeah, so 14 and 15 back together. Less than 2 years after the entire era kicked off. This does seem like such a long time ago, doesn't it, Charlotte? We were full of, I was full of hope. Certainly, I know that not everybody was. Simon had his head in his hands from day -1, I think. But I was sort of full of hope. And it's weird to be on the other side of it now, seeing those two actors reunited, both of them out of it, everybody out of it. It's quite sobering, I think, when you realise it's all over.
Yeah, like you said, this era, in some bits, feels like it's lasted forever. And then in other bits, you think, God, in less than 2 years, we had a Doctor that basically got predicted he was going before the official statement came out. We've got a fan favourite coming back. I would argue with a much lesser of an impact than the first time he did it during the 50th. And you just think, how quickly can you burn through fan goodwill? I think that's the resounding thing that I will take from Shooty's run, sadly.
There definitely should have been another way, as they say. You can relive all our pain from the last 2 years and a couple of years from before that as well. There, if you hit up our playlists there, each and every live stream preserved. All of our rants and raves, our hopes and fears throughout the entire period leading up to the 60th anniversary and everything that's come along since, all there in our regular news shows as all of that was coming together. And you can see our hopes sort of gradually fade as well over time. Catch up and relive all of that, as well as our dedicated review shows, showcases, Ask Us Anything shows, and all the other nonsense that we get up to here at Type 40 Live. There's a Type 40 podcast as well, of course, across all major podcatchers, including Audible and Spotify and everywhere else there. I think we won't qualify for the speakers unless we write something purposefully like that. But hey, who knows? They might do one for podcasts eventually. We'll throw our hats in the ring. Until then, we're perfectly happy across all major podcatchers and our home feed at type40.podbean.com. This is Type 40 Live on Rumble, X, YouTube, and Facebook, catching up on all things Doctor Who and with our friends there in the live chats. Thank you, everybody. Oh, the horror says it's not Banksy. The horror of David Tennant's suit was that, or Shooty Gat was non-socks, which was the biggest fashion faux pas of the speakers this time. Award for Total Prat of the Year, suggests Stephen Braddock.
That's all of them.
They could have been combining knee surgery stories.
Bill Silver has 3 Big Finish releases on pre-order right now. They are proper Doctor Who. They're still capable of putting out some really good quality stuff. There's quite a lot of it though, so I find it impossible to keep track now, Bill. But I did used to be a Big Finish completist, so I'm still a supporter of Big Finish. I enjoy. I just have to be select, but I do enjoy what I do here. More comments about Colin Baker's suit. He wasn't even there. What's going on? David Tennant's been on the booze, speculates Daniel Cox. We will never know, but I have my suspicions. Okay. If all of that hasn't driven you to drink yet, there's more coming up. Happy Thanksgiving again, everybody. Of course. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. Because we are a divided community. Doctor Who fans, even at the best of times, I think. I mean, very, very seldom do we meet in anything approaching unity, particularly in troubled times. And the series is experiencing, once again, troubled times. This week, however, the various factions, well, we did sort of lay down our arms to some degree, I think, regardless of our tastes, our ideologies. And each of us was asking the same question. Who's that wanker? Yes, just when you think that Doctor Who has been served all the indignities it's possible that can be served upon a cultural institution, you spy something like that shared onto social media, featuring this guy who I'm told his name is Oliver Cole. It lasts about 50 seconds, but it seems like about 5 hours. I've not really the faintest idea who this guy is. I've never heard of him, never seen him before. He seems to be some sort of model and influencer and professional poser. Okay, people do that. He's an influencer of sorts. I'm still not really sure where Doctor Who comes in, though. You have to dig a little deeper there, specifically over on Russell T. Davies' Instagram. This is Russell's social media of choice. He's quite active over on there. And so he said, "Happy birthday, Oliver." And that seems to be where all this originates. They posted that video seemingly as a birthday present for Oliver Cole. It was evidently professionally filmed and even scored on the actual TARDIS set. I think, well, where does this guy come in? And it really does. Is it really as simple as it looks? and that Russell T Davies just has a massive horn. He's totally thirsty for this guy. Yeah, he's not exactly got a massive following. I've never heard of him. He's probably a nice enough guy. Takes his mother flowers every now and again, all that kind of thing. Nice to puppies and small marsupials. But I find all of this nauseating in the extreme on about 10 levels. Russell T Davies all over this guy's social media, telling him how amazing he is. Just what the fuck is going on, Matt?
It's a sickness, I think. I for the longest time have worried about certain people in charge of the Doctor Who production company, and to allow this person just willy-nilly who it's just it's just a performative act that is the reason why Doctor Who is failing. It's just to the point where I have no idea who this person is. I don't give a shit. And the fact is that it just makes it more annoying to us as fans that this is the stuff they're pumping out. I never had seen that video before. That's the first time I've seen this photo before, but I hadn't seen that video before. And walking around like a bloody prat is by this Jeffree Star wannabe is just, it's ridiculous. And honestly,
I have no idea. I have no idea who Jeffree Star is. But I often find that when I talk to people from overseas and I use British expressions like bollocks and wanker, people say, "Oh, what does that mean? What does that word mean?" When anybody says, "What does the word wanker mean?" Well, this is poncing around, sniffing your own farts like that, being not possessive of any talent whatsoever. That's pretty much the definition of a total wanker. How I'm trying to look at it is, obviously, happy birthday, Oliver, whoever you are. I don't begrudge anybody a nice birthday. And you know what? Maybe in the past, people, sort of extended family or friends, have been invited onto the set for special occasions, and they may have had special messages filmed for them. We know they have for children, for example, competition winners and things like that. Maybe that happens, but it's all kept private. To make something like this for somebody just out of sheer thirst, it would seem, and then to make it public that everybody can see it. To me, it seems like the ultimate cheapening of this brand at this time. I mean, does he just think that there's no more damage that it's possible to be done to the brand in the eye of the public, or has Russell T Davies not thought about it that far and not looked any further ahead into the future than the length of his own cock? Because that's certainly how it looks to me.
I think it's the timing more than anything, and I've seen a few people talk about this because I saw this picture and I saw people talk about, oh, there's this video with this random guy go on the TARDIS, and it seemed to really confuse people what this is. And when you take it more in the context, and this is why I said timing, of we don't have a current Doctor, we don't have a current leading person that we know for sure that they are the focal point of the show at the moment. We know Billy is something. We know Billy is probably going to be in the special, but even that's just as guesswork. There's nothing officially been said from Russell, from the BBC.
So what you're pointing to is the fact that there is currently a position vacant leading this show, and that anybody remotely interested in the brand will probably know that, and then they'll see this video, and what will they think?
Well, I think it's a natural assumption then. You've not just that you've got him on the set, you've got him on the set with music, which is from the show. It sounds like something Murray has done, or some past music they've just plastered on top of it. And he's sort of acting out or doing a sort of ish thing of being around the TARDIS, and
it's half an impression of David Tennant and half an impression of Shooter Gatwa, somewhere in between.
So I think
fucking peacock.
at the current time when we don't know who is meant to be our lead, stuff like this is actually quite damaging's dramatic, and I wouldn't use that word.
It's a mixed signal to send.
Yes, that's a good way to put it, I would say. It's a mixed signal. And the thing is, the show right now cannot have any more mixed anything going on around it when there's so many questions, when there's so much uncertainty. And I think it's just odd that it got put out with so much production. At the time it got put out, like you said, they probably do have, if they've got friends and they have them on the set, and I don't
Keep
doubt
it to
that, and I have no
themselves,
issue with that,
in between
honestly.
themselves.
But why put it out in the way it did? That's what my main question is, really. Like I said, more
Oliver Cole
with the vacancy
did.
of.
Oliver Cole did read the situation, it seemed, because not long after it was published, he did offer this short statement, not the new Doctor promise kiss.
Well, we knew that anyway, because that's just suicide to do that. That would be ridiculous. That would be the absolute death knell for Doctor Who.
Like,
If someone like that, after
it be
what
as bad,
we
Matt?
just have had for the last 2 years, sorry Dan, but what we have had for the last 2 years, to have this Ponzi peacock walking around like that, just ridiculous. And that would be the death knell of Doctor Who, the complete and utter obliteration of Doctor Who.
To be honest, Matt, I think
it was
if
bad
this
enough
scene,
to have him.
if this scene got outside of the fandom, I think it would actually do a lot of damage, because it would. Okay, so all of this is now it's been cheapened to this extent that anybody and everybody has the right to be the Doctor for 50 seconds, and we could just, maybe everybody in Britain can take part. David, we do 50 seconds each, and it become like a cameo thing. We could pay for the privilege, maybe, for the people who I don't know, if they, to make up for the license fees that the BBC have lost, apparently $1 billion over the last few years. Maybe they could start doing this sort of bespoke videos of yourself as Doctor Who. Oh, we won't bother making the show again. We'll just dick around with stuff like this, indulge ourselves like this, and that'll be that. I mean, am I taking this too seriously? I thought this was maddening.
Two words you've used already. First word, probably the biggest word: optics. It does not look good. It does not look good at all, considering where we've been, where we are, and the fact that we have, as Charlotte and you've all said quite rightly, we have no lead actor in the role. We are doctorless, essentially. Secondly, indulgence. Absolute 100 indulgence. What am I watching? Am I watching an episode of First Dates? Am I watching an episode of God only knows what am I watching? As you've said, and as I've spoken to other people about this, we know that people have visited the set before across the whole 62 years. We know that people have watched shows being taped. We know that we've had people playing the Doctor, aka Gareth Jenkins, in a show that we can't.
Yeah.
In a show that we can't obviously mention anymore.
But they were literal children.
Yeah, and what I'm about to say is this, and that comes off the back of what your point that you just said, Dan. We have just had Children in Need. What better way and what amazing optics it would have been for a short film of children of whom have benefited from Children in Need to visit the set and have something filmed, and for those optics to be for that to be put out by the channel as well, just to say we've given these kids, who've been really disadvantaged, who have benefited from Children in Need, we've given them this as a little memento and everything like that, and here's the film of it, of them running around and each having a go. Now, that would have been far, far better optics than somebody doing something for a friend, and I'll use the term friend because I don't want to get into trouble, somebody's friend, and then them posting it on social media which I don't. If that had been me, you know, I don't think I'd have got in those heels, to be fair. But if that had been me, I would not have posted that on social media, because as soon as you put it out there, you have no control over it anymore. And I feel that Oliver has put it out there, and then he has now experienced the wall, or the screaming wall of Doctor Who fans just coming at him from, oh my god, and blah, 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 blah. It's like when Film is Fabulous said there's going to be an announcement shortly, and then it's a case, as Gary quite rightly picked out, oh, probably shouldn't have put shortly on there, because that is it's like, it's just like a red rag to a bull to Doctor Who fans. They will feel, some of them will feel that they own him now, and I think he personally should he have chance to reflect on it. May come to think that perhaps that may not have been the wisest thing to do, to make it so public. If it had been a gift as a private video or something like that, keep it private. It's lovely. It's a lovely thing to have as a little private thing, that he could have that little video that nobody else has and nobody else can see. That's such a lovely private gift. But oh no, there are some people in this world now that have to share everything for everybody. And unfortunately, he's shared it to people who might not actually appreciate the content of what has happened. And I come back to the first thing I said. I think it is incredibly bad optics yet again from a production team who have committed the sin of bad optics after bad optics after bad optics as bad optics. They're as useless as the England cricket team. They just don't learn.
The way I look at it, David, we've all been, guys have been in this situation. We know what's going on here. When you're a kid, there's that girl that you really fancy. You know, you've got a pair. It's the middle of the summer. You've got your best shades on. You know, you haven't had them long. They've not got a single scratch on them. You're going to wear them all summer. You know, you're really, really proud of them. And then that girl that you fancy asks if she can try them on. You think, oh, okay, I really like her, so I'll let her wear my sunglasses. And then the next thing you know, whatever girl you've got a crush on wants to have a go in your new car, all that kind of thing. Oh, God, okay, whatever. You know, what's the worst thing that can happen? It's that kind of thing. But firstly, Russell T Davies is 65.
60.
This guy's 60. We're near enough.
Yeah.
Secondly, this is not some knackered old Vauxhall Nova that's been clocked. This is a multi-million-pound set of what we're being told is a global standard genre TV show that's just been through the ringer, and they'll cheapen it to this extent. I cannot believe the lapse of judgment and taste on show here. And as I say, I don't begrudge Oliver Cole a happy birthday. I don't even think I blame him.
Oh, I don't.
No.
Because it's like I said, it's got production on it. That's not him. That's Russell and his team. Like I said, it's not like like it's been taken by somebody's camera, like who was with him and got a couple of shots, and then he's put it on his Instagram. It's got music. It's got camera work. It's got multiple sort of angles.
Yeah.
If you didn't know any better, this almost looks like a really high-profile audition. If you didn't know any better. So I think, I think some people said, "Oh, but wouldn't we do that in the chat?" Yeah, of course. If Russell or somebody was to show and said, "Do you want to come and have a look on the set?" we all would jump at that chance, and we'd all probably really enjoy it. And I hope sincerely that Oliver did enjoy this because it is a rare thing.
I couldn't care less.
I just think for him, I hope he enjoyed it. And I think I'm talking about personally for him. But like you said, it's more the wider thing of sharing it on this wider profile at the stage the show's in now, when Russell hasn't even really talked about this special beyond a couple of sentences for next year.
But
He's not
this just goes
confirmed
to show there's
anything.
nothing's changed. There's no trying to take it seriously now. It's not serious. You cannot take it serious. And yes, that's right, Matthew. My face is I actually got a glimpse of my face, and I've got facial recognition thing in my head. That was of disgust. I'm just disgusted by this. I find it gross, and just not Doctor Who. And I've had enough of it. It's ridiculous, and we've still got a bloody another 12 months of this shit to go.
God.
What's he going to do? Give every influencer. I'm believing he's an influencer. Who knows? But is he going to give every time someone has a fucking birthday that he's in? He's like, hey, I'm going to.
He's certainly influenced me to unfollow Russell T Davies.
Oh, I did that over a year ago, and I've been happier for it.
One of several comments here in the live chat. One of several comments we've got in the live chat on YouTube, Matt, is what's happened to the show I loved. That's from Star Whovian. There's several people who figuratively have their heads in their hands. Lots of people agree with you, with everybody. This just, the guy looks like a try-hard. Well, he's a poser, isn't he? That's how these people behave. He's a model. He's whatever he is. He's probably quite successful at it, but
and he's a gay model.
I think it's also quite insulting to actors, some of whom may wish to actually audition for the next for the role of the part, because essentially they may actually not get to do what a friend of the show, the former showrunner, has managed to get done. And they are actually well-versed, qualified actors of some of whom will be of immense repute, and I think it's quite insulting to that profession also. If I can just sound a little bit outraged for a moment.
Ncuti Gatwa never got a bespoke introduction scene in the way that, for example, Jodie Whittaker did he? No. He never got anything like this. Oliver Cole has just had as a birthday present. Nobody is on board with this decision, it would seem, Charlotte. Nobody is happy with this. And you could say, well, it doesn't affect us in any way. 60 seconds at best of your life, and then you move on and think about it. But I honestly do think that at the moment, the state that the show is in, its currency as a cultural institution is weaker than ever. And little things like this will mount up.
Yeah, it's death by 1,000 cuts, isn't it? I think that's the term right
Sadly.
now.
Yeah, with salt and lemon.
Yeah. An extra
so,
TCP.
How much worse can it possibly get in 2025? I suppose that's the next question. I'd hate to think. Look, there's only a few weeks left. We've got some treats coming up, maybe. I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
Well, it's my birthday today, Russell. Can I get into the TARDIS, please?
There you go. Make this little boy's dream come true.
Yes. I'll prance around for you.
In the meantime,
I won't wear the dress though.
In the meantime, coming
all the high heels.
Coming very soon to shake up your Sundays or your Mondays, Matt, if you're living on the other side of the world, is the war between the land and the sea, of course.
Oh, great.
And we've got a few more details about that over the last few days because we've had the press screening. So as well as the comeback of the Sea Devils, the series is also due to feature the return of Lachelle Carl as Trinity Wells, formerly of AMNN News, and now with her own platform, last seen in Lucky Day,
Jesus.
if you remember, earlier in the year, and now fronting her own independent media show, Tucker Carlson style, on YouTube. That's yet again, it's their depiction of any content creator outside of the mainstream as a complete loon. The BBC press release says that Trinity Wells now relishes sensation and spin. altering the reality of the story to suit her own narrative. So there we go. More delightful prejudices, courtesy of Russell T Davies and Pete McDye, coming up there in the war between the land and the sea. So we've got that confirmed, and this brand new picture too of at least they look like actually having a conversation this time. There's Russell Tovey, Gemma Redgrave, and Ruth Madeley on the set of the war between the land and the sea in HR. I think that is again in HR. But yeah, we're getting somewhere. It's almost exciting. I'm almost wondering what they're talking about, Charlotte. That has to count for something.
Well, like I said, I am intrigued with Tovey because I think he's an actor that if you give him even mediocre scripts, he can at least pull some good acting off. And he's a new character. I feel like I know Kate now, and I'm fed up of Kate. I'm fed up of Ruth Madeley's character, so at least Tovey could surprise me. We will see.
Do you think they'll go for the low-hanging fruit with Trinity Wells there? Are they just going to do sort of more character assassinations and sort of frame content creators who don't work for the mainstream as really, really bad, unscrupulous people? Or could Trinity Wells, because she's altering reality to suit her own narratives, maybe she could get a job with BBC Verified, David? Do you think that could be on the cards for the spin-off?
Absolutely. She's going to be the new chair, the Director General of the BBC.
She'd fit right in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness me. I mean, come on. It's just you. It's yes is the answer to your first question. Of course, she's going to be bad because she is a content creator, and all content creators are bad. Okay, they are wrong. Oh my goodness me. I am actually hoping for a love tryst between Russell Tovey and Sexy Boy Colonel Man, Funtime Boy, and Kate Stewart. I'd like to see a bit of a scrap saying, I got in there first. No, she's a babe. I'm going to get in there instead. And then Ruth is going to have to split them up with her rockets from her wheelchair. I think that would be a better plot. But it's nice that they've got their wiring diagrams on the computer. I so want to like this, but I just so want to like this. But I know in my heart of hearts, no, my heart is saying I really want to like this. I want to love this, but my head is just going, really. David, what it's going to do. I
like the aesthetic. I like the aesthetic of it already more than recent Doctor Who's have been. Everything has been so spotlessly, ridiculously clean on Doctor Who for quite a long time, come to think of it. Whereas here, Barclay, he's got shit on his trainers, that kind of thing. Yeah. It looks like his jumper's a little bit torn. And things just feel a bit more lived in and a bit untidy. For a show that's being shown technically post-Watershed. So it has got a different sort of quality to it.
Grit.
But again, a bit of grit, a bit of something. But having said that, I can't take that supporting cast particularly seriously. Most of my hopes do reside with Russell Tovey and Gugu Mbatha-Raw. And as I've said before, I think they're good actors, it's good actor and actress, but neither of them are stars. Therefore, we've really got to hope that some magic starts to happen with this somewhere. We've had the press release this week, the press screening. I apologise. So they screened the first 2 episodes for the press. Obviously, that was invitation only. Boyd Hilton of Heat magazine and of the Pilot TV podcast that hosted Russell T Davies a couple of months ago. He was there. He was there with a panel made up of the cast and the crew. So it was quite an intimate get-together. I think I spy Stephen Moffat there scratching his neck on the third row up. I'd say, what is that Stephen Moffat talking about? Well, I doubt it.
I don't know, but is that guy that was just dancing around in the TARDIS right at the front?
Oh, I think it is.
A good spot. That is a hell of a good spot, Matthew. Whoa!
Front row. Far left seat. It certainly looks like him. Well done, Matt. Bloody hell.
Hey.
How curious.
Can't miss a peacock like that.
Okay, we do have some quotes. We do have a video as well of the event.
Hello, I am Russell Tovey, and I play Barclay in The War Between the Land and the Sea.
I'm Gugu Mbatha-Raw, and I play Salt.
Do you know what my favourite scene is? Or favourite sequence is?
I don't. Was
The
it
credit.
the plastic apocalypse?
No, not so much. I think it was everything in the Imperial Hall.
Yes.
Because we were in there for like 2 weeks, and when they said cut, everyone would sort of leave set and I would stick around. I absolutely loved it in there, and it was so dramatic. And the set, I mean, you'll watch this show and imagine that most of it is green screen, but it was all a build. It was so immersive and amazing. And when Gugu first stepped out on set, dressed as Salt, there was a silence that went over the whole cast and crew. And we had like 150 background supporting artists, which just added to the energy in there. And they all were so committed. It was really magical, them scenes. So I loved that intense 2 weeks. I really loved. Do you know what your favourite scene is?
You know, I loved the first scene we filmed because it was just so extraordinary. It was right near the end of the whole story, but it was also in water. It was an epic, quite romantic scene, and I think because it was my first day and it was our first time working together, there was just such an energy about it that was very surreal and really exciting.
I would have said that was Gugu's favourite scene, so I knew that.
Oh, this is just gonna be far out.
I don't think they come across too badly at all. Compared to some of the.
I'm talking about the content.
Some of the red carpet stuff we've had in recent years, I thought they both came across really well. Particularly her. I'm not very keen on Russell Tovey, but you know, he did seem at least sober then, unlike his speech a couple of months ago. But you're not very keen on how they were describing some of the set pieces there, Matt. It sounds very opulent.
The whole romance shit. I don't give a hoot.
I
really don't.
Let's be fair. She did say it was romantic. It's not necessarily a romance story, but imagery. I think that's what she was. The atmosphere was romantic.
Well, yeah. Well, you'll just have to wait and see, won't you, Dan, when you watch it for us?
Yeah.
It's
a 5-part thriller for an adult audience. If there is a romantic friction between two characters, I hardly think that's a big deal at all. In fact, to have characters who are relating to one another on any level, at any kind of depth, would be such a breath of fresh air compared to anything we've had on Doctor Who now for years. I don't really care, but when she was describing that scene, I thought she was sort of describing more the ambience than. So it doesn't bother me, but I understand that some people just want an adventure story. I think that's even more unlikely though when you're looking at something that's aimed at a different demographic. Myself.
I mean, I think that romance, like you said, Dan, doesn't have to be kissy, sloppy.
No.
It can be also quite tragic. It can be moving. It can be emotional. I suppose is the term. But I was particularly, you see, I love those. What he was talking about, Imperial Hall. I love those big sort of scenes when they're in that sort of meeting. Then like the courtroom from A Few Good Men. It just adds that layer of tension and drama. So I'm hoping that's pitched right, and I'm pleased that Russell didn't come out. Russell Tovey, didn't come out and say, "Oh, it's the most fantastic, splendid, fantastic, wonderful, dynamic, dangerous, hyperbole thing that we've ever done." So that sort of is better from my perspective.
I admit I was relieved that they didn't ask Russell T Davies about that. But yeah, there they are. I just want scary monsters, says Stephen Braddock. Yeah. I get the impression that there's going to be plenty of monster action in this, of screen time for them. They've certainly spent spent enough money on it. So I would imagine that with her being a major character, the Sea Devils do look very prominent in this. how scary you find them. Obviously, it's going to be down to the individual, isn't it? We're grown men and women here in the comment section here, but maybe teenagers. I don't know. I think it'll be down to the atmosphere, won't it? It'll be down to the story and the sense of threat. Gords says Lord Thoth. People have really hung up on this romance thing. Maybe I'm in a minority. The romance between the bloke and the fish. I think that's harmless. We've each watched movies about various characters from different cultures, either flirting or falling in love or bonding over common goals or connecting in the face of adversity and conflict. It's a perfectly feasible story to tell.
Splash being the prime example. Daryl Hannah and Tom Hanks.
Avatar, the James Cameron movie.
She had legs.
It's just one of many examples. I think they're bipeds, aren't they? These characters, and I just don't think it's of all the things to be worried about with this. If it was Doctor Who, I might feel differently, but it's not. This is meant to be again post Watershed. Totally. It's a 5-part drama series. Nobody minded when that stuff was in Torchwood. We'd got one woman had sex with a gas monster in that. Nobody seemed to care at the time, but all of a sudden we feel totally differently. I don't know.
The vibe I'm getting off, especially what she was describing in that little junket, is it's this idea of her being something exotic, something otherworldly.
Yeah, I love that.
You can have the idea of Toby's character is described in some of the press now that's coming out that he's a very mundane bloke. He's like got a 9-to-5 job almost. He's not got much excitement in his life. And then he sort of is exposed to this mad world of sea devils and unit. And I what I can get from that is this idea more of her. You can see something that entrances you and takes your breath away, but that doesn't mean it's romantic. If it's something just extraordinary.
Charlotte, one of the most moving relationships I think I find in Doctor Who's history that I found it very captivating at the time and always gets me every time I go back and watch the episode was in the episode The End of the World from 20 years ago. Jabe the Tree Woman and the Ninth Doctor, the connection between those two characters. That is how I see this. There was something romantic between those two characters. And although they didn't know each other for very long, the way they put those two characters opposite one another and how they bonded in the midst of that crisis, how she viewed him both before she knew he was a Time Lord and then afterwards, that's the conflict. That's where the interest lay. And the moment leading to the moment where she sacrifices her own life, that kind of development, that was a very concise, very compacted version of a story that we see play out in movies, in sci-fi movies, quite a lot. And to me, that would be if the relationship between Barclay and Salt is romantic in that sense. I don't see the problem. I don't know why everybody's so rare about that. So it's just not a big deal.
I think that's a brilliant sort of example because she has that line or she has that reaction to him. I can't remember the exact line because it's been a while since I've seen End of the World, where she almost says, like, you shouldn't exist, like your people are dead. She says something to that effect. So it's this idea of, yes, the Doctor is this walking mystery. He's this thing that shouldn't exist. He's this thing which is mythical or thing that they're seen as long dead, but he's alive now as a Time Lord, and that takes her breath.
People in the live chat haven't liked me standing up for this show. None of us have seen it yet. Come on. None of us have seen it yet. And this kind of storytelling
not the greatest of track records, though, Dan.
This kind of storytelling is perfectly viable. And yes, it could be a disaster. Of course it could. But it's not as if everything Russell T Davies has ever written has been terrible. It's not as if they aren't being open about what this is. This isn't Doctor Who. People are saying in the live chat there, oh, wait for all the political stuff. Well, it is an eco-political thriller. They are being very clear about what this is. And yes, it might not be to everybody's taste. It might not be to mine. I can't say that. But just saying, oh, we shouldn't have romance, any kind of romance in it, I think that's immature. And
I
I
beg
don't know.
your
I think
pardon.
there are examples of it working. There are examples of it working in Doctor Who. Never mind in a spin-off, which is telling one precise story about characters we've never met before. I understand why people are prejudiced against it, but I just think I'm trying to be objective here. Pete McTighe again. Pete McTighe. This may well be his final chance for most people. Pete McTighe has written and produced some fantastic stuff before he got involved with Doctor Who.
Totally.
You can't judge that guy based on 2.5 shite episodes of Doctor Who. This guy hasn't just dropped out of the sky. He's got a really good pedigree behind him. He has made good stuff. And yes, this will be political, but each of us, we have the choice of whether we want to watch it or not. If this wasn't attached to Doctor Who, I would watch this. I watched Battlestar Galactica, the remake. That was drenched in allegory for 9/11 and all that kind of thing, and modern day terrorism was all reflected in that. It's the same with that and this. That's the same brand of sci-fi in many respects. And we've got more pictures. We've got more pictures here. Gemma Redgrave there on her own, wearing it looks like a suit that she's had out of the Oxfam shop there, and here she is with this.
Oh, gold. What is he wearing?
I'm not going to eviscerate a show that none of us have fucking watched. That isn't what this show
I can
is
still
for.
look disgusted though.
Of course.
I'm just upset with his fashion choice, Dan. Most of all,
well, again,
I think Kate's got a nice top on. To be fair, once she takes off her, but I understand. I understand where you're coming from, Dan, and I do agree with you. I have my fears about where the show's going to go, and I feel it's okay to share my fears with people, but I am still going to watch it. I want to enjoy it. I'm not going to sit there with a huge Christmas box full of Maltesers ready and poised to throw them at the screen. I do want this to work. And across science fiction, you are so right. You look at Star Trek, there are so many interspecies romances
all the time
there. You look at Star Wars, the same. You look across science fiction galore. You look back through literature, they exist. So why would it not appear in a science fiction program where there's tension and everything like that? And because they're choosing, the bloke who probably counts all the paper clips in a unit and then makes the tea or coffee as the least person you would likely expect to be the chief negotiator or the chief representative. That's a really interesting take, because it's not the people you would normally assume to be to use as your top diplomat.
Yeah, he's not a scientific. He's not a scientific advisor.
Yeah.
He's not the head of a department. He's a grunt. I like the idea behind this. I think the premise is quite strong. I would hope it's not going to be a complete retread of either or both of the original 70s Silurian and Sea Devils stories, Charlotte. I hope there's something new in there. Otherwise, it really will be. Well, yeah, I think will it be pointless? I don't know, because it's been 55 years. But I will feel that Doctor Who has been exploited. I think if they just retell those stories, I'm looking for something else. I'm looking for something that's worthy of the global platform ambitions, I suppose, that it had. And seeing as it's just telling one story, we've seen this done before, but for months now, people have been saying this has to be like Children of Earth. Go back and watch Children of Earth. It's one long story. There are all manner of interconnected relationships going on within the body of that, all filling out the stakes, if you like, convincing us of the threat and the danger that the Earth is in. Nobody seemed to mind then. We've been raving about that show for 16 years. It doesn't mean this is going to be any good. No, but the idea that this is doing something that's outside of credibility, I just can't take that seriously. I say the quality of it, we'll know when we watch it, won't we? Yes, Russell T Davies' best days are arguably behind him. Yes, Pete McTighe has struck out pretty much every time he's worked on Doctor Who so far, but this is a ground up new project that's sort of attached to Doctor Who. So I just view it completely differently. I'm not standing up for it in the and I'm not going to die on this hill or anything like that. But if I'm not going to watch it objectively, then why bother watching it at all? That's just maybe it's just me. I don't. You see, Charlotte, I don't hate watch anything. I haven't got fucking time to hate watch stuff, and I certainly can't make content from that position. I won't let myself go there. I don't know. I don't understand what people want.
Well, I think some
just
of
blind
the
hate all the time.
No, I don't think it's that. I think some of the reticence with even any romance element is, sadly, Russell doesn't really stray from his own kind of writing when it comes to romance. If you look at Rose and Ten, if you look at Martha, if you look at his way of doing romances, they all tend to follow a set pattern of one half of the romance is fully there and wants to, and the other half is sort of reluctant or not quite acknowledging of it, and it's this drawn out will they won't they sort of affair. It's all of that stuff that people are just fed up of. So I think it's more that people have just feel like Russell hasn't really challenged himself. If he has done any romance here just off, he tends to like this sort of stuff. But then in the other breath, I completely agree with you that this is a new project. This isn't the main show. It's got a new cast. It has got another co-writer on this, so it's not all Russell writing this. So ideally, that means you would get a feel of a different voice here, of a different writer's style coming through, not just Russell.
I hope so.
And I think we just have to see what it is. But the problem is, and we've been saying this for weeks, this is coming at the end of an era which has thoroughly disappointed us, which has thoroughly disenfranchised us, and has made us sort of see all the faults that Russell and co have right now. If this would have come after an absolute belter of a first season or two really good seasons of Doctor Who, I think there wouldn't be these doubts. It's just timing some of this again. We've gone back to timing, aren't we? This should have gone out in between two seasons for best sort of people wanting to give it a chance. It feels right now that it's the leftovers, that it's the end, and we've sort of just been, the BBC have been kicking this around. They've not been showing it when they could have. And they just I think that it could have worked in between the two seasons. I think that would have been probably the ideal scenario. But I also think that bringing it out after two complete seasons is a pretty good move as well. But only if you've got a third one coming the following year or within 18 months of the previous season airing, because it does feel like it's just the final box being ticked, the contractual obligations being met. But we are perhaps in the community slightly too close to it to be able to see past all of that stuff. Maybe I don't know. Because when I watch it, I won't be thinking about any of that. But I know that people watch things in different mindsets, don't they? And some people are very mindful of it, very conscious of it every single minute they're watching. I'm not personally like that.
Absolutely, Dan, and you're totally right. And there will be people who, like they used to be with Torchwood, that will come to this program, not a fan of Doctor Who, will still not be a fan of Doctor Who, and will absolutely love this program. and will deride Doctor Who till the cows come home. There will be people who absolutely adore Doctor Who that will adore this, and that don't adore Doctor Who because they've fallen out of love with it, and will absolutely fall out of love because they might be going into it with the point of view that I hate Doctor Who, so I'm going to hate this. And I've given my hopes and fears for what I'm scared of about this show. But like you, I have absolutely no reason or no wish to hate watch anything, because I'm sorry, my life's not about that. Whatever I watch on the TV, I want to enjoy, whether or not it's another Christmas movie with my wife, a romantic Christmas movie, where I've got the plot sorted halfway through and I know who's going to link up with who and how is it going.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that, just as long as it's a good story and it takes me somewhere, and it and it's the joy of watching something with somebody.
Yeah,
And
you have to adjust your expectations based on
Yes.
whatever you're actually watching. And this is a prime example. It's not Doctor Who. They're very clear about what it is. Yes, there will be politics. Yes, there could be romance. Yes, there will be moral conflict on a kind of level that they can't really do on Doctor Who, that may be more of in line with torture. I think I've said this over and over again, but yeah, you're right. People are I think people are indulging in some sort of therapy after a couple of years of massive general disappointment, and aren't willing to give anything that Russell's involved with any fair shake at all. Which again, I do sort of understand, but you're not going to get that from us here at Type 40. That's not what Type 40 is for. It's never been what we've been about. Yes, our coverage and our reviews have always been punchy. We've always been honest. Everything we've reviewed and covered, but objectivity is very, very important to us here. So that's what you're going to get here. And if I enjoy something on any kind of level, I'm going to say this is not a campaign that we're on. I don't hate watch, says Funky. I just sometimes hate what I've watched. Now, PJ Maybe's joined us on YouTube too and says, I agree, I never hate watch. I just don't watch. I think that's the healthiest way to be. Again, maybe some people don't get affected by hate watching. I know it's a thing, but it would affect me. I mean, I had to bail on watching Star Trek, Matt. I think it was after 3 seasons of Star Trek Discovery. It was just bringing me nothing but suffering. I was dreading watching it. I was dreading pressing play every time. I wasn't prepared to put myself through it anymore. And of course, there's been multiple Star Trek projects I've stayed away from since. I mean, there've been some that I've given a chance that I shouldn't have done. But I've stayed away from most because I don't want to put myself through that. But I guess some people enjoy it, don't they?
And they do, and I mean, I was like that with. I'm pleased I sticked with Picard seasons 1 and 2. Important not to digress here, and I won't, because I got Picard season 3, which was amazing. So that rewarded me for sticking with things that I was a little bit sort of not great with. So it's like Doctor Who. I will always watch Doctor Who. Always.
Got a comment here from Matthew Pound. Yeah, it's like you turn up to support your football club, even if they've been on a losing streak for 3 or 4 months, hoping that they're going to win the next match because you support that football club. Matthew Pounder here in the live chat on YouTube. Matthew, you've got a nerve, mate. Thanks for the comment. They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt anymore. You've been dropping comments in our live chat for a couple of years. You've never given them any of this stuff any benefit of the doubt whatsoever. You've been prejudiced from the very, very start. And you do you, that's okay. But pull the other one. It's got bells on. Good to have you in the live chat though, mate. On the upside, we'll be able to rip it. So this is what I mean. On the upside, we'll be able to rip it. Some people just enjoy tearing into this stuff, either because it's genuinely bad, or in other instances, people tear into stuff it's not actually bad, just because they don't like the people either involved in front of the camera or on screen. That's just not how I'm wired up, and that's not what Type 40 is for. I'll watch it. So Stephen O'Neill. I'll probably end up. It'll then probably end up having viewers' regrets if it ends up being a disappointment, and that's never a nice feeling. Nobody wants to waste their time, do they? Everybody's time is precious, Matt, and there are more shows and channels and box sets and everything else clamoring for our attention all the time. So things have got to, in all fairness, things have got to justify their place in our playlists. Now, that's the war between the land and the sea. It kicks off soon, so it'll be over. It'll be over fairly soon too, thankfully. It will mark the end of the partnership between BBC Studios, Bad Wolf Studios, and Disney Plus, of course, won't it? So the deal was struck in October 2022, and we finally got their official confirmation, didn't we? Around, was it late September, early October, that the deal was done, and everybody was parting. I don't think it's on the best of terms, judging by the atmosphere at the time and the fact that Disney is still yet to speak about it. But we'll see. If you're waiting and
see their promotion for it too.
Well, I was going to say, if you're waiting until it turns up on Disney Plus, which could be 3 or 4 months' time, Matt, it'll be very interesting to compare the two campaigns. I suppose.
Think it might be just Shadow dropped. I'm guessing Shadow dropped.
That's what I'd do, and that will happen regardless of the quality, simply because the deal is over. It won't. Yeah, that if the show does well in Britain, they won't promote it anymore or any less, because that's not how this sort of streaming model works. So it's not how this economy works anymore. When people fall out of love with a project, or arrangements, partnerships reach their conclusion, then there's never any pretenses. Yeah, there's never any pretenses about any of it, really. Doctor Who itself, of course, is due to come back another year and a bit to wait for that. Returns Christmas 2026. Of course, this was a War Between the Land and the Sea event, but seeing as Russell T Davies was there, people couldn't resist in asking him about Doctor Who, and this is what he had to say this time to the Radio Times.
Next instalment in the Whoniverse we know is Christmas 2026. Yes. What's the status of that? Are you writing at the moment?
It's not at the moment, actually, because I'm busy on this. I'm also shooting a show in Manchester, so next year, well, which is any day now, but next year my plate clears and we'll get to work on that.
Great. Ideas already percolating? Anything you can
say? I know exactly what happens in it. Yeah. Don't worry about that. And yes, I'll tell you the entire plot now.
You have no idea, mate, of the way you answered that.
You're not convinced, Charlotte?
No, it felt like Russell was trying to put a smile on, trying to be the old, everything's brilliant and amazing Russell. But it just reeked to me anyway of, I don't have a clue what's happening. Like, I'm going to deal with that next year. That's my problem in the future. That's the vibe I got anyway.
David, what about you?
He's waiting for that book of how to write a story for Christmas, isn't he? No, I'm with Charlotte 100% there. I don't think he's actually thought about it. I don't actually think he does know what's going to happen in it. I think he's actually quite concerned about what he's got to sort out, because I do believe his brief maybe clear your mess up before you leave, mate. That's my views.
The fact that he said that he was busy with that and it finished a year ago, like pretty much all they were doing was post-production. What pile of poo. He's a lying bastard.
So when he says, Matt, I know exactly what happens in it, don't worry about that. Do you think that he really was just thinking on his feet there and was saying
up his ass. That's
just whatever?
Yep. No, that's Charlotte's right. In the fact, he has no idea what he's doing. No idea. The thing is, he still treats us like we're idiots, you know?
Well, because he doesn't have to deliver on that, does he? We're never going to know whether he knows or not. We just have to take his word for it. He said, so I'm busy on The War Between. I'm also shooting a show in Manchester. So next year my plate clears and we'll get to work on that. Yes, so it couldn't be further from where he's at right now. Just as we said a few weeks ago here, he's not presently employed on Doctor Who. He's moved on. So
Let's not forget
see
that
what happens.
he had time to write season 3 and 4 in his busy schedule.
And he had time to write a short scene for somebody as well.
He was employed as showrunner of Doctor Who then, showrunner and lead writer. So I suppose working ahead makes sense when you're in a role like that. But as we understand it here at Type 40, according to all our sources, Russell T Davies does not hold that position. He is not employed in that capacity at this time.
Also, I know sometimes we are guilty of focusing and overanalyzing stuff Russell says, because that's just the nature of being fans and talking about stuff on a live stream. But just the way he's put, we'll get to work on that. There's no ceremony. There's no sense of occasion. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like,
next on the list.
Yeah, yes, David, that's that. Or just when somebody says, "Oh, can you just do this form? Oh, I'll get to work on that tomorrow." It has that vibe to me.
Charlotte, he did seem different in that clip to when we saw him over the summer, where you could see the tension on his face. He appeared to have been, in one instance, I mean, he was at a party, I suppose, but in one instance, he seemed to have been drinking quite heavily when he was speaking. But in other instances, he was very, very uncomfortable, which is not the Russell T Davies that we've been watching speak about Doctor Who for 20 plus years. Here he seemed a little more like himself. He seemed relieved to have a bit of headspace away from Doctor Who, was what I was picking up from that. And I do think that he has it in his head who is going to be involved and what the general shape of the story is. I do believe him to some extent, but I think that the relief on his face was largely down to the fact that, okay, I know where this is going in the short term. I know what's expected of me over the next year, 18 months, rather than all that uncertainty, which was clearly in play whilst they were still locked into that. It seemed to be a deadlock situation between the BBC and Disney Plus, specifically over the war between the land and the sea, which we've covered extensively before. So it did seem like a man who'd had a bit of a weight lifted off his mind.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's a nicer question to say, oh, what about the special then? Is Doctor Who coming back? Is Doctor Who dead? Like when he was sort of being fielded varying versions of that sentiment, and him being able to go, oh, well, maybe hiatus, we're talking. He's got, like you said, I agree, he's got clear, probably now, I have to do this by this time, I have to get this done. He's got sort of a short-term plan. And when I said before, he doesn't have a clue, I think he doesn't have a clue of the actual proper plot of the actual story yet. But I'm with you. He probably has a rough idea of this. Billy's going to be in it. I might have these cameos. I might have certain things in it, but the actual structure, I think, is still very much up in the air to what he's actually going to write.
It's bound to change over the writing process. They'll know how much time they've got. They'll know whether they've got an hour or an hour and a quarter. They'll probably have an idea about when it'll be shown. They'll certainly have the budget all worked out and a block of time where it'll be filmed, because they will have probably secured whoever they intend on being in it. They've probably cleared their availability for a specific block as well, because it'll just be obviously the one special. It takes them about 3 or 4 weeks to film something like that, I think, Matt. It's like an hour's episode or something from memory.
I don't know. To be honest, I've got to try and find the interest to watch another Doctor Who episode.
David Mullen asks, so if he isn't showrunner on the Christmas special, who is? Well, he will be. You can't have a showrunner on a special, can you? Because it's one episode. So he will be the executive producer
He'll be an exec, yeah,
and the writer on that special. This is a production of its own, is what we're hearing. And that whatever is to come afterwards, because they do intend on announcing, if you remember the way they phrased it in the press release was further series, their intentions will be announced in due course. So there is no ongoing series at the moment. There's an intention to make further seasons of Doctor Who, but there's been no commission. There's been no appointments. There's no one cast, no one hired in any capacity officially yet. So to have a showrunner, you have to have a show. And there is no show. If you're just making a one-off, which is what this is, you need a producer, you need a writer, you need a director. So it's a different production, even if it's in the same lineage of a series from before. That's how it works. Mm-hmm. It's like making a TV movie after a series. That's all. You could say it's admin, really, but that's the difference. That's why there's no showrunner, because there's no arc to plan. There's no scripts to bring into alignment. That's what a showrunner does: shape something over a longer run. You can't do that over an hour. David asks, he'd have to know what the plot will be, as the BBC commission would necessitate it in most instances. But Bad Wolf have this show for an extended period of time. They think the sun shines out of this man's backside. So if there's anybody in Britain who can get something commissioned without having to tell them the entire plot, there are probably 3 people in Britain who can do that. I'd say Paul Abbott is one. I'd say
McGovern, maybe.
Jimmy McGovern is the other.
Jimmy
Yeah, thank you,
McGovern,
Charlotte. Sally Wainwright and Russell T Davies. Maybe Jed Mercurio now too. But that's it, max. Even Stephen Knight hasn't got that kind of power yet. And yeah, people wondering, will he rehash old Christmas specials? The Christmas special he had wrote originally for this year. Well, for last year. So originally, if you remember, Stephen Moffat wrote Joy to the World, but that was Christmas 2023? 2024? God, they're all starting to drift into one. Now. Originally, Russell T Davies had written that. He abandoned it partway into writing because he told us about it 2 years ago. So this is what Russell T Davies said in December of 2023. For the first time ever, I'm writing a Christmas special at Christmas, and this isn't for next year. No, the 2023 script has been long since signed off. This new one is for the end of year 2024. I apologize. This is a quote he gave 3 years ago, Christmas 2022. So that's how far in advance Russell was working. And of course, this particular script never saw the light of day. So bang up to date with Russell T Davies. He says he knows exactly what happens in it, meaning the Christmas 2026 special, and the Radio Times and us, we don't have to worry about that. Is anybody worrying? I wasn't worrying. I think I'm sort of past caring with this.
It is what it is.
That's where I am with it now, Matt. I feel differently towards Doctor Who than I do about the War Between the Land and the Sea, because we know what they've done to Doctor Who. We know their editorial approach to Doctor Who. We all know how it's face planted, and I think even they realise that it's been a massive fuck up. But they'll never admit it. And even though it'll be a Christmas
going on with it,
even though it's a Christmas special, I'm certain it'll be very populist in its appeal. It won't be anything too involved or contentious. I'm not expecting anything that'll break any molds, be particularly revolutionary. I think they'll likely lead into nostalgia, if not for the classic series, then probably for 20 years of New Who. I don't know, but I think it'll be a very simple affair to tidy things up as best they can and to amuse people on Christmas Day. I don't think, again, it's still the biggest TV day of the year, even if it's got a fraction of the audience it used to have, David. And so again, they're a different animal. There are people who love new Doctor Who but never liked the Christmas specials.
Absolutely, and this is the first year that it's been missing from the Christmas schedule since 2005, and the BBC have put out their Christmas schedule for 2000 and for this year for 2025, and a lot of people have been complaining that it's not really got any big ticket shows like last year, Wallace and Gromit, Gavin and Stacey. So by 2026, if this is a quiet one, they're going to need some really big hitters to put out at Christmas, which you would hope Doctor Who would be one of them, with a very good special. And who knows?
We shall
I've
see.
been thinking of this. If in the lead up they bill it as Russell's goodbye, that's what I've had in the back of my head. Would they be that desperate? Would they be that cynical to use the fact that this, if fans know going in that this is Russell's goodbye, mate special, they might get some extra viewers?
I'd say that's quite likely.
TLD is.
I think that's
what
quite
the TLD
likely.
is. The Last Davis. That's the production time. I'm sure it'll be that TLD. Yeah, the Last Davis episode.
So Doctor Who returns Christmas 2026. With that, maybe we'll get some more quotes from Russell T Davies over the next few months. I'm not expecting to hear a great deal from him until February, March time, until Tiptoe is all locked and sorted, but we shall see. There's more War Between the Land and the Sea promo that's kicked off. So this is tonight. So we had Gugu and Russell were both guests on the One show there this evening. So just as we were getting ready to come on live, they were on the One show. I wouldn't imagine anything too contentious has been said on that. It's a very light and fluffy show. But yeah, it'll be all over social media, I would expect. So let's go and see what they've got to say over there, and see if this doesn't sate our appetites any further, I suppose. Also tonight is the premiere screening, which has been attended by members of the fandom for those two opening episodes as well. That's happening at the Chapter Arts Centre in Cardiff. People will be sworn to secrecy, but you know what the community is like, you know what social media is like. I expect there'll be spoilers starting to appear pretty soon. There's that double bill coming up on December the 7th there. Not just the War Between the Land and the Sea, that first double bill, but their brand new re-edit of the classic 1972 story, The Sea Devils 2. So if you've got your sea legs and sturdy enough stomach to do that double bill, good luck, I suppose, is all I've got to say. And we'll let you know our thoughts on all of that in due course. I'm more worried about the edit of the Sea Devils, I think, than I am about the War Between the Land and the Sea. But we'll be watching, we'll be waiting. Let us know what you think in the comments, of course.
What's with all the racial
This is
slurs?
Philip Roy from Doctor Who Meets the Scorpion, inside my Type 40 time and travel capsule, which is appropriate, since this is the Type 40 podcast.
Yes, we're back. Matt, you mentioned racial slurs. What are you talking about now?
You keep saying sea devils. Stop it.
Oh.
Good point, Matt.
Homo aqua.
Can I just say, it's nice to have a promo thing with Phil when he's smiling and he doesn't look half beat up. So that's nice to see.
Very much looking forward to Doctor Who Meets the Scorpion, of course, coming our way. Also available now, I want you to talk about this. Now these. So yeah, merchandise. We don't talk about merchandise very often, largely because there's not that much of it. And that which there is, it's quite hard to find. Usually action figures, you know, if you can't get the one of 3 or 4 B&M stores in the country that stock them, you're largely out of luck. Or you can hit up eBay and get scalped to buggery. I'm not about to do any of those things myself, but I'm very fond of the Wrath Warriors, mainly as a reader of Doctor Who Weekly from all the way back in 1980. I was thrilled to see these images of them brought to life Back in 2022, this was a good 18 months before we saw them on screen in the TV version of The Star Beast, which of course starred David Tennant's 14th Doctor. They're about to be immortalized in plastic. You'll be pleased to learn Character Options have made the announcement that, this is currently available. This is the latest of their Vortex releases, special releases for 2025. What's special about them, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't understand anything about Character Options' entire strategy anymore. But here they are. Here's a twin pack. It's just become available this week, exclusively on their website. They stand at 18 centimeters tall, so that's a good 15 millimeters taller than the standard figures. And they've all got sort of multiple points of articulation. Had anyone seen this? Had you caught this, Matt? Because I know you like a collectible, you like pretty pieces of plastic, don't you?
Yeah, it's obviously they've got stands as well. They come with stands, which a lot of action figures don't come with. So, I never read the comic book. The first time I heard anyone excited about this was when there was those photos leaked of them out and about.
You've got to get it, Matt.
It's not something I would buy. Yeah, it's not something I would buy. It's to me, it's very niche. And so, it's are these coming out this year or next year?
They're out now from Character Options. It's one of those. So they gave us the press release a couple of days ago, and it was instantly available to order, because now and again their website gets completely crashed with people ordering them right away. You're quite right. There is a display stand there, detachable blaster weapon accessories, what they call light pipe eyes. I think that means that they glow, Charlotte. I'm no expert, but that would be my guess.
You can see in that picture a little bit, can't you?
I think they've made a nice job of these, really. But I would buy a line of action figures based on the Dave Gibbons original comic strip sort of incarnations. But in this respect, with both the Wrath Warriors and Beat the Meep, they were really quite faithful in how they brought those to the screen. So I think these are a kind of nice.
They actually look different to the what was shown on film. I think they're more based on the comic book, maybe. Dan, you could probably say whether or not.
Well, they're insisting that they're based on the TV version, because they've also guaranteed that it's not simply the same figure. They say that the paintwork on each of them is different and the modelling is slightly different. They look exactly the same to me, I've got to be honest. But I suppose you couldn't really sell them. You couldn't really sell one. You'd need a couple of them. It's like the Jadoon. They don't look right on their own. You need to have 2 or 3 of them.
I think there's going to be a lot of repainting. People doing it at home, amateur repaints and stuff.
You could be right. I mean, the 60th anniversary specials aren't. It's not a period of the show that I've really gone back to. It's not that long ago for a start, and memories of it are, even though I quite enjoyed all 3 specials to some extent, the experience broadly is sort of tinged a little. But I really love these characters. It is mainly because of the comic strips, because I read them way back then.
It's nostalgia. I think that's going to be their selling point, is nostalgia. I don't think anyone really is going to go, oh, they're the ones from the Giggle. Oh, not the Giggle. What was it? The other one.
Star Beast.
The Star Beast.
Yeah, the Star Beast. Yeah. So they all meld into each other.
And to be honest, we've said this in general. If you take this run with Russell, and I'm including the anniversary specials and Shooty's stuff, there's not a lot of stuff for toys to be based off. So character are probably struggling to have representation right now from the television era, because nothing's been made with that in mind.
I don't think anyone's going to buy a snot monster.
Exactly. Like, what can you
make your own?
A Jinx thing, or
Sutak.
Oh.
a massive dog on a TARDIS, or a massive
or
Rotten
an Omega,
Skull.
the big turd with a face version from the Reality War, but as a glove puppet, so you put your hand inside him and you sort of operate it.
Well, no,
It comes out.
I'm going through my head, and that's what I've been doing while you guys are chatting a little bit. What creatures have they got to use? Well, at least they've got quite a striking design. They've got quite a monster, a proper like bug-eyed monster feel, because they basically, like you said, Dan, and Simon was saying, I think at the time, they've been very faithful to the comics. They've not changed the
evil
design at all,
podcaster.
really.
Yeah. We could have a character come out called the Evil Podcaster. That they could
It wouldn't at all
Have
surprise
it
me.
out, coming out as an evil fan, you know.
The Woodhouse 122 says the Wrath Warriors were seriously underused in the Star Beast. I think
They were.
I think you're right. With hindsight,
they
I remember their
hindsight-
death. That was it.
Well, with hindsight, I think that they probably should have just made 2 specials, made them about an hour and a quarter each, and just adapted the Star Beast as kind of an event, kind of like they're doing with the War Between now. Taken one story and just have adapted it in a more full way, and the Star Beast was easily the strongest of the 3 stories. I think that's probably what they should have done, and it would have given them a lot more time to really play with these great characters and beat them too, and just explore some of the ideas a little more and some of those set pieces. So, but obviously hindsight is a wonderful thing, and it's been 2 years now. But that's probably what I would have done. I think that the 3 specials idea, it would have been different if there'd have been. I think what we were expecting with those was a far stronger overarching element to them. There wasn't really. They felt like episodes of any season. It's not exactly left over from Russell's original era, but it felt as if he was just sort of picking up where he left off, format-wise as well. And there
sort
was
of add-ons.
enough. Yeah. And I think if you're gonna, and I know they were an hour long each, but I think you're quite right. They could have got so much more out of the fabulous creations of Pat Mills and Dave Gibbons with these. I think they looked incredible on screen. They did look to the standard. When they talk now about trying to look like they belong on the same sort of streaming platforms as sort of Stranger Things and all of those shows, The Mandalorian, all these shows that they always name check. To me, everything that we saw, particularly in the Star Beast, the production values were extraordinary. Actually, no, all 3 of them production values were really quite high, but particularly in the Star Beast. And they should probably have stuck with this, looking back. Tom from T-Dwarf Productions says, I love the Wrath Warriors. They are very insectoid, and he wants those figures. So you've got to get this £44.99, and they're only available. I know this is when they call things, and this is what we've talked about this before as well. I think that the figures are becoming luxury items more and more and more, aimed at a niche within a niche of the audience. So that works out at £22 for each figure here, Matt, and they are slightly bigger than usual, but even so,
do these actually come with the batteries for the eyes? Because we don't actually allow lithium batteries into the country anymore because they could blow up. So that would be interesting now.
See, here's the problem, Matt. Already Dark Place here watching on YouTube says that it's already 68 quid on eBay. This is always the problem. I just think they've got it all completely wrong. But again, that's another subject that we've been on over and over again. I mean, I don't know where character options are coming with this, because none of it really makes much sense to me. But maybe they've got the shitty end of the stick as well, and they're simply doing the best that they can, holding a license to a brand which has fallen through the floor. So if you are a collector, if you have ordered this, let us know what you think, Matt.
I don't know if you remember, but there were prototypes like 2-3 years ago
Yeah, that was one of the prototypes.
Yeah, and so obviously that's how long it's taken because they've got literally nothing else.
Yeah. So let us know. Are you a regular scouring the shelves at your local B&M for their standard figures, or do you go for the Vortex series? Have you built up a collection of these and you think it's a worthy addition to the line? We're all ears, a bit like those two guys there with the antennae. Let us know in the comments whether you've placed your order and how you think it's going to work out.
You're watching Type 40. Stupid tune anyway.
And it's pumpkin time for all of us, Charlotte. But you first, I think. Thank you.
It's been lovely chatting with everybody and the chat. And I will see you guys soon.
Good night, Charlotte. Have a great weekend. Catch you later.
Good night, Charlotte.
Bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, even shots like this. Now, I mean, you can tell. You can tell that that's a studio floor with the backdrop, can't you? It looks pretty ropey.
Is that Boom?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, it is. I do think it is. I think that is Boom. It does look. It does look pretty bad. To be fair,
because that was all screen, wasn't it? That was right. One of that was the one that was all projection screen, the $1 billion thing from the Mandalorian they were using. It just looks so fake.
Less than 18 months ago when this was screened. It seems like a lifetime.
Too long.
It looks next generation style. You know, with some of the graphics that they had there.
Does it looks like TV from the 80s or the 90s?
Yeah. Oh.
What could have been, eh?
What could have been, indeed. Let us know what you think of everything that we've been speaking about on this edition of the show. So we've got that infuriating video that Russell T Davies has had made for that. I've forgotten his name already. All of that. Maybe the War Between the Land and the Sea press night. And that quote from Russell T Davies too. He says he's got it in his head. He knows exactly where the story's going. Do you believe him? Do you care? Let us know in the comments. The War Between the Land and the Sea cast, they were there too, weren't they? Just over a week to go until the premiere of that. How excited or not are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Let us know that as well. And were you foxed or fooled by the AI picture of Billy Piper and Paul McGann that set light to Doctor Who Day this year? I think that could be with us for quite a time to come. You can say hello to us as ever through our social medias. That's Instagram and X at Type 40 Doctor Who, or steam over to the Type 40 Facebook group. Lots of new members, in fact, over the last week or two. People clearly want to get something off their chests, so go and get stuck in there. Go and have a closer look at the AI pictures and some of the parody pictures that have turned up ever since as well. I think it's getting old already, but there's plenty of them on the wall there in the Type 40 Facebook group. So go and share yours if you found or made some good ones. You can also leave us a message, any kind of feedback whatsoever through SpeakPipe as well. The link is in the description. Catch up on earlier editions of the Type 40 live stream show here. Our deep dives, Ask Us Anything shows, news, roundups, and everything in between. It's all still there for you to enjoy or relive. If you're a glutton for punishment, there, hit up the playlists and over to our home feed at type40.podbean.com for the very latest of the podcasts, or on the podcatcher of your choice. Happy birthday, Matt. Did I say happy birthday earlier? Happy birthday,
yeah,
Matt.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Hope you have a nice day.
I'm 51, by the way. I'm 51. I'm.
You don't look a day over 50.
I'm more excited about my birthday than I am anything Doctor Who related at the moment.
Yeah. Do you buy yourself? Do you buy yourself a present?
Yes, I do.
Everybody should treat themselves a little, shouldn't they?
Yeah. Actually, I got it from the UK, so.
Ooh.
Oh, he's not going to tell
Nice
us
pair of
what.
heels.
Oh, it was a Blu-ray
Is it a
box set of Japanese horror.
I was going to
called
say, is it a
Day
surprise?
Topic.
But is it a surprise? But seeing as you've bought it, you know what it is.
I was going to say it was not a pair of Cuban heels, was it?
No. It's a bunch of Japanese horror movies that
Woodhouse 122 has had my experience. I've never seen any Who figures in my local B&M. I have seen them now and again, David, but they're as rare as rocking or shit. It's pointless when everyone gets released. I want to go looking for it. No chance at all.
Wow. It's lucky we don't even have that at all in stores anymore.
Darren Bradley says that the eyes, the light up eyes there on the two figures could possibly be light refraction. He seems to think that they've used those on the Vok robot release. So would that mean that no batteries would be required, Matt, if it was light refraction?
Yeah. Well, did it actually have what did they actually say in the press release for them? What was the lighting?
Light pipe eyes, according to the blurb I've got right in front of me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's possible. It'd be easier to ship because it's literally just painted on. But I don't know. It's when you showed that picture of them in the box, they looked very, very dim. So I thought maybe they would light them up actually with and if that's the case, they would use like a lithium type battery, though button batteries.
I'll take you. You're the expert.
Transport, so yeah. I'm not buying it.
Stephen O'Neill says, "Thank you for reading out comments. Out his comments. It's our pleasure. It's what you're there. What we're there for.
Yeah. We don't. You don't have to give us a super chat to get your comments.
Not yet.
In fact, if you did, it would be just me talking for 5 minutes.
You can pay me.
So you'd be bored rigid.
Sure that you do.
We're
not one of those channels.
Dark Place is washing the lawn. Which now does that mean you prefer to go to the lavatory au naturel out in God's wonderful?
He'll have the AstroTurf. You know what I mean.
We've got some more.
Has he got an outhouse?
Tom says it's his dad's birthday as well.
Oh,
happy birthday, Tom's dad.
Yeah, well, it's the 28th there, so it'd be 27th over there. So
Richard McKendrick, it's his mum's birthday as well. So happy birthdays all around. Happy birthdays and happy Thanksgivings, of course, but mostly to our Matt here. Happy birthday, Matt. It says Julianne Goodwin. Oh, we share a birthday. Happy birthday, Julianne.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you, everybody. It'd be fun to see Classic Who's Japanese dub. There you say fun. That sounds as irritating as all hell to me.
I'd be interested to know if it's even in Japan.
I think it must have. Weren't there Doctor Who? Weren't there Japanese translations of some of the Target novels?
Possibly, but I don't know about
that. Doesn't necessarily mean that the show was shown there. I know, but I think there was.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would have.
Nicholas Horton says, "I got every B&M figure set released this year." You'll have to let us know your secret, Nicholas, because I haven't even seen any. Never mind, picked any up. But there's figures that I'd like, both standard ones and sets like these Vortex editions. But I can't invest in a brand. I won't support a brand that seems to. I don't think they value their customers. I don't. I think the whole model of how they roll out their line, I'm not impressed with it. I think the standard of the figures is still pretty high, the detail of them, but how the hoops one has to jump through to get them, I think are ridiculous. David Mullen says the character options have really slowed down sales wise in my area over the last 3 years. They barely seem to be shifting, and there are some branches in the country that they probably are. They've been sitting on shelves gathering dust for months, if not years, and yet other parts of the country don't get any at all. I just don't understand that. That's what I mean. All of this is part of the problem. Richard McKendrick says, has the panel mentioned obsolete at all? Richard, we've been mentioning it constantly for the last week. We've been talking about it before anybody else.
I need to go check it out now.
Yes, we have mentioned obsolete.
Lovely.
Ant Lamb, the animator and storyteller extraordinaire, friend of the show. We've been in touch with Ant about it. So, yes, we have recommended it several times. Thank you, Richard. Touchgrass says, Lord Thoth. Why not?
Yeah.
Nice one. Thanks all, adds Richard Kendrick.
I thought that was thanks AI. We're not AI. We're real.
We're not, again, not yet. Super chats. We may end up, all of us, replaced with AI avatars just taking super chats 24/7.
When we're gone. When we're gone, we'll all get replaced.
Well, I was thinking about next week. Can all go off.
Mine will just be
Christmas.
Mine will just be bemoaning the England cricket team all the time. So
my AI representation will be watching War Between. I'll let my AI watch it.
So you send your AI to do that, and you go off and do other shit. I like it. Okay, apologies. I'm a busy man, said Richard McKendrick. You and me both. It does make me smile though. Yeah. You must be new to the channel, Richard, but welcome to Type 40. Yes, thank you, everybody who's joined us, and some fantastic comments. We've weathered it all together, haven't we? But yeah, pick up any of our talking points from this edition of Type 40 Live and let us know what you think. Once you've mulled it over, and head over to the One Show. You don't need to have a TV license to see the clips from that. It's all over on their social medias. So they clip it, they snip it, they whack it on their social medias and their YouTube channel. So all those clips of Gugu Mbatha Raw and Russell Tovey, they'll be out there somewhere. So I wouldn't imagine they've said anything of any great note. I think they both came off quite well in that video that we played earlier on. I don't think any of them are going to say anything too probing or anything that's going to rock our worlds. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Richard says, I'm new to the channel, but not new to who. Great stuff, you all. Thanks for joining us, Richard. Happy to have you aboard. Just wondering what his icon is. But you have to let us know more about your history with Doctor Who, by all means. Tom's asking about our Christmas schedule. We don't know because we don't know what we're doing when, mainly because they decided, after announcing that the War Between wouldn't be on until next year, they then went and scheduled all 5 episodes to run between now and Christmas, Tom,
right.
Which threw out our original plan for what we were going to do. Because obviously, we've got families, we've got lives, got other things. Now and again, we watch other things as well. So we don't know yet, Tom, but thank you for the inquiry. The best way to find out what we're doing next, I know it's the boring way that puts some people off, but it is simply to like this video, dislike it if you want to, subscribe to the channel, check you're still subscribed if you think you're subscribed, and hit the cloister bell to get all the notifications about what we're doing next, because we do like to have a good time at Type 40 when it comes to Christmas. We put up the bunting and get out the Christmas cake and the Jaffa cakes and everything else. And yeah, we enjoy that as much as you do. So if you stay subscribed and hit the cloister bell to get all the notifications, then you'll know as soon as we know. Richard adds here, I was introduced to Doctor Who by my late father during the Sylvester McCoy era. I grew up throughout the wilderness years. Another child of the wilderness years there, Matt. It's a story that we hear quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. Wilderness years were quite tough, especially when, even though you guys got, your little drips and drabs of Doctor Who, like, Dimensions in Time and all that sort of stuff, which we would have missed out on. Luckily we did have the odd book that we were able to ingest, and just love. So yeah.
Just, I like that word.
Rather than digest. I wouldn't need a book.
One of my most embarrassing stories of being a Doctor Who fan the wilderness years was going into W.H. Smith back in the time when they had on the top shelf magazines for the discernible gentleman. And there was a chap picking up a copy of Mayfair. He went to the counter before me. I had a copy of Doctor Who magazine. Lovely young girl, checkout assistant, served him and gave him a bit of a smile and a wink, and he went on his way. She saw what I was buying, Doctor Who magazine. She goes, "Would you like a bag?" Sort of thing.
Mayfair.
So with a grot mag. He's walked out with a grot mag, and you haven't offered him a bag. I've got
Oh, right. Is that like Razzle, is it?
It's a pornographic magazine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
I've
got Doctor Who magazine, and you're offering me a bag because it's more embarrassing than what he's walking out with. Cheers, love.
Oh, there were tough days. Tough days back then.
They still make them.
Yeah.
Do they still make them?
They do, but
Really?
you don't see as many of them because there are fewer newsagents. When I was a kid, they were everywhere, and you could always see the front covers on the top shelves.
Yeah.
But now,
we've actually lost all our.
Well, now in the very few shops that sell them, they have, because I've noticed this, they have the covers are still sort of face out, but you can only see the masthead of each magazine. The cover image it's sort of inside a bag of some sort, kind of like a brown paper bag, but you can just see the masthead. That bit's clear. The actual cover image, which would feature usually a scantily clad young lady in striking a suggestive pose, and maybe a bit of text saying how she prefers whatever she prefers.
See,
that is out of sight.
Yeah. All our newsagents now have become gift shops. They sell less magazines. they just sell just random tat.
Well, I say gift
loads
shops,
of food.
vape shops.
Vape.
Oh no! See, we don't have them. They're not as prolific here in Tassie anyway. They are on the mainland, but
big thing. Vaping and national lottery scratch cards.
Can't stand
they
vaping.
keep what used to be the old newsagents alive. There's a section of newspapers and some magazines like TV guides and those sort of crossword books.
Yeah,
you don't see very few kids comics, no dirty books, and certainly no Doctor Who magazine.
Yeah.
So yes,
that's been like that for 3-4 years. Yeah,
a trip down memory lane. So we'll be back very soon. Of course we will. The road to Christmas, we're very much on it now. I think it's come around a little bit quicker than I was expecting, even though it's on the same day.
Another year.
Every year. It doesn't move around the way that Thanksgiving does.
You got your tree up, Dan?
God, no. I saw somebody in the next town to me had their Christmas tree up the last week of August, but mine doesn't go up. Mine doesn't go up until the second week of December. But my Christmas hat, that may make an appearance very, very soon. Yeah. I'd say maybe a week, because we've got some things cooking for next week, whereby I don't think a Christmas hat would be appropriate. You'll get more on that if you make sure you're subscribed to the channel, as well as more rants and raves as ever, more dad jokes, news, views, and banter. Thank you, obviously, to Charlotte Shields, as ever. To the birthday boy, Mr. Matt Pott. Sincerely, mate, have a great birthday. Thanks for joining us this time, pal.
Thanks very much.
And to David Milling, of course, layered up and ready for winter innings. There, it's good to have you back, mate. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Stan. And brilliant comments too in the live chat as well. Thank you for battling through that with
everyone.
Us. We'll be the first people to say, if the war between the land and the sea is shit, don't worry. We'll give you our punchy reviews the same as ever. It's just a week and 2 days until we find out. But until then, we always have the time. If you have the space here at Type 40, have a great weekend. Catch you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.